We're going to be learning about pumpkins today. What color are pumpkins? I know you usually see them all as orange, but they're not always orange all the time, as you're about to find out. All right. This is just here because I thought they really looked pretty. Aren't they pretty pumpkins? All right. Since we've been doing rhyming words, I like this and I wanted to add this. It says pumpkins. Pumpkins are big, pumpkins are small. Pumpkins are perfect for the season of fall. So small and fall rhyme. All right, I thought this was cute too. It's I'm a little pumpkin, but it's going to be using the same tune as the song I'm a little teapot. It says, I'm a little pumpkin, orange and round. Here is my stem, I grew in the ground. When I get all cut up, don't you shout. Just open me up and scoop me out. Isn't that cute? Let's sing it again. I'm a little pumpkin, orange and round. Here is my stem, I grew in the ground. When I get all cut up, don't you shout. Just open me up and scoop me out. So when you open a pumpkin up, you can either you can scoop out the seeds or you can just reach in and you can pull them out, but it's really slimy on the inside of a pumpkin. So it's harder to scoop them out than it is to just reach in there and just grab them with your fingers and pull. These are the parts of the pumpkin. The first one, see the arrow, it's pointing to the leaves, just like the leaves with flowers, the leaves from trees. And then the second one is pointing to, it's a little bit different shade of green. It's the stem. You can actually pick it up. When you pick up the pumpkin from the top, you're holding it by the stem. And then the next one is pointing to the inside of the pumpkin, and those are the fibrous strands. That's part of what is inside that feels so gooey and sticky and slimy. And then you go back, if you go to the bottom and you look on the far left, it's pointing, the first one is pointing to the seeds. Just like an apple has seeds inside of it, pumpkins have seeds, but there's a difference because we don't eat apple seeds. That would be gross. They're hard and you don't want to eat those seeds, but pumpkin seeds you can actually eat. And if you season them correctly, they actually taste pretty good. The next one is pointing to the pulp. That is also pretty slimy on the inside. And then the last one is pointing to the skin. Remember the skin of the apple that's either red, yellow, or green? Well, this is the skin of the pumpkin. It's got the same thing. The skin is on the very outside, just like we have skin on our bodies. It's the same thing. All right, so this is the overall life cycle of a pumpkin. We're going to start with the little seed on the right. And then the arrow is pointing down because the next step is a sprout. That's where it's just starting to come up out of the ground. It's still really small, but it's got little tiny leaves on it. And then we've got the next arrow that's pointing to the vine, which is kind of this, it's the same thing as like a plant. It's getting bigger though. The sprout has gotten bigger and it's actually turning into where it's got bigger leaves on it, like a plant. And then the next arrow is pointing to where it turns into a flower. Isn't that pretty? So a flower is the next step in the life cycle of the pumpkin. And then before it turns orange, it's green first. It looks just like the leaves. See the green pumpkin? It's kind of like a banana. When it's still a little bit green, it's not completely, it's not ripe yet. It's not ready to be eaten yet. Pumpkins apparently are the same way. It's got to be green first before it's finished. And then there at the end, the last phase is when it's a full grown pumpkin. We're going to look at all of these steps individually. So again, this is the same thing, but it starts out, the first thing is a seed, a small seed, but it's bigger than the apple seeds, but it's still pretty small. The second stage is the sprout. See the teeny tiny sprout with the teeny tiny leaves? So this was the second stage. The third one is plant, which is kind of the same thing as the fourth, which is a vine. Vine is where it's gotten bigger and it's starting to get, can't think of the word. I'm drawing a blank. Twiny, maybe? It's growing with more vines, like more than just one plant. It's in multiple plants. Then it becomes a flower. Such a pretty flower. I think that is so pretty. That's the fifth stage. And then the sixth stage is green pumpkin. I think it's still pretty as a green pumpkin. The seventh stage and the final stage is a pumpkin. An orange pumpkin. And again, here's the life cycle again. Just another picture of it where you can see it all in order. If you cut the pumpkin open, this is someone cut it in half, which means into two pieces right down the middle. See the seeds in there with the pulp and those fibrous strands? It's really slimy in there. All right, this is a chart and it's put into two main sections. The first one is on the outside and it's describing how it looks, feels, smells, sounds, and tastes. And then it does the same thing for the inside of the pumpkin, how it looks, how it feels, how it smells, how it sounds, and how it tastes. So for the outside, what does it look like? It's shiny and it has lines. Look at the pumpkin here that you see. See the lines? It's showing the different sections of it. It's got a lot of lines on it going all the way around it. How does it feel on the outside? It's hard, smooth, and cold. What does it smell like on the outside? Nothing. It has really no smell on the outside. How does it sound? That means if you tap it, how does it sound? And it sounds hollow. And hollow means like it's empty. And it really is, except for the slimy stuff and for the seeds. How does it taste on the outside? We don't eat the outside of the pumpkin, so we don't know how it tastes. We're not supposed to eat the outside of it. Okay, now on the inside, what does it look like? It's stringy and it has seeds, as you saw from the last picture. Stringy and it has the seeds in it. What does it feel like on the inside? Squishy, wet, gooey, and stringy. That's what it feels like if you were to put your hand inside of it. How does it smell on the inside? Sweet. It's got a very distinct smell. I'm not a huge fan of how it smells. but I guess it does smell kind of sweet. How does it sound on the inside? Well, if you have your hand inside of it, it would sound juicy and squishy. You can hear the sound it makes with the slime. How does it taste on the inside? It can be sweet, like if you put it in a pie, like for a pumpkin pie, and it can be salty if you eat it as seeds. If you bake the seeds, you put salt on them. So we just discussed how it looks, feels, smells, sounds, and tastes on the outside, which is the exterior, and the inside, which is the interior. Outside is exterior, inside is interior. And I put this here just because I think it's a really pretty picture of some pumpkins. Isn't that beautiful? And this one was my favorite pumpkin because someone carved it in the shape of a doggy paw. It reminds me of my sweet dogs. So this one was my favorite one.